Hey guys, this video is going to be longer than my normal videos, but I just ask you if you will just bear with me because this is very important. Now on this channel, I do not get into politics. I will never. Well, I won't say I won't never. It is not my intention to get into politics on this channel. If you want to see me gripe about politics, you can go to my other channel, which is the Conservative Long Hair, and I'll leave a link, if I can remember, down below, if you're interested in that kind of crap. But anyway, what I will get into on this channel is something that affects all sportsmen. Now, I got kind of inspired, I guess, to do this. Here a little while back, J-Dubs did a video on some anti-trapping measures that were being proposed. And he did a video on that and made people aware of it. So what I'm going to do is I want to let you be aware, if you have not heard already, about a gun bill that has been introduced in Congress. This gun bill was introduced on January the 4th of this year by Sheila Jackson Lee, who is one of the most arrogant, conceited pieces of garbage in Congress. She's from the 18th congressional district in Texas. She introduced House Bill 127, the Sabika Sheik Firearm Licensing and Registration Act. Okay, just a little bit of background on this. It was named after a Pakistani exchange student who was killed in a school shooting in Texas, May 18th, 2018. I won't tell you the name of the school shooter because he is a slimy piece of shit, and I will not repeat his name. But anyway, he's a 17-year-old. He used a 12-gauge Remington 870 pump and a Rossi 38 caliber snub nose, along with, I think, a Molotov cocktail and some other kind of little explosive devices or something. The guns were owned by the shooter's father, and from my understanding, in that part of Texas, you have to, there's a law that says you have to store your firearms as to prevent minors from being able to get the guns. So evidently a law was broken there. So what is this moron congresswoman's idea to fix that? Well, let's make another law since the first law wasn't followed, okay? I'm just going to give you some highlights of this. The bill itself, I will leave a link in the description so you can go through and read it all. It's humongous. It'll take you a while to read it. But I'm going to just give you some of the highlights of this bill. Of course, she's going with the normal, usual BS, the folding stocks, adjustable stocks, large capacity magazines, and pistol grips and all this kind of stuff. Now, what is new this time is under this law, in order to buy or own a firearm and ammunition, you must have a psychological evaluation. You must have 24 hours of training. You must also have an insurance policy. Also, a psychological evaluation of everyone living in your house. Also, they are going to interview at least 2 family members from outside the home about you. They're going to interview your spouse after she has a psychological evaluation. They're going to interview her about you. They will also interview your ex-spouse if you have one. They're going to interview an ex-wife or an ex-husband about you, about your mental state. What? It also establishes a new class of firearms. It's called military style weapons. Okay. Now, that includes AK-47s, AR-15s, AR-15 pistols, and to be able to own one of these guns, you will have to have an $800 license. Like I said, they've got some of the usual crap in here, but some of the language they use in this bill is utterly laughable. It's so stupid. Like the shroud. A shroud, like what comes on most AR platforms, AR-10 platforms. This is the language that is making shrouds illegal. A shroud that's attached partially or completely that encircles the barrel that permits the shooter to hold the firearm with the non-trigger hand without being burned. That's what a shroud is for, you freaking morons. It's so you don't burn your damn hand. I'm telling you, if they had an IQ test for some of these, all politicians, then half of them would be gone. They're that stupid. Of course, magazines over 10 rounds, any caliber bigger than a 50 caliber, illegal. May be wrong, but that might include the 50 caliber. I dropped the ball on that one. Shotguns, pistol grips, illegal. It has to have a fixed magazine that holds no more than 5 shells. It cannot have the ability to accept a detachable magazine. Of course, the Attorney General in each state will be enforcing this law. Okay. The Attorney General in each state has to approve the psychologist, the person that trains you, how to operate your firearm to get your license. But what this law also does, and you have to have, you have to notify the Attorney General of your state what kind of guns you have, how much ammunition, where you store those firearms. Okay. Of course, your name, your address, all that kind of stuff. Well, this law establishes a database, a website that will be made available for anybody to look at. Not just law enforcement. All branches of the military can look at it. Any member of the public can look in this database, and see how many guns you have, where you store those guns. It gets even more dumb. If you intend on loaning a firearm and ammunition to someone, they have to be licensed. You have to notify the Attorney General, of course, prior to you loaning out this firearm and that ammunition. You have to tell the Attorney General the name of the person that you're loaning it out to, their address, their phone number, what day you're going to loan them this firearm and ammunition, how long they're going to keep it, and what date they will be returning it to you. This is a member of the House of Representatives that introduced this bill. This just shows you that these anti-gun politicians have maybe 2 working brain cells, and that's it. And some people, they have antique firearms, and they like to display them in their house. A lot of people will have an antique rifle, up above your fireplace, over the mantle, or have one hanging on the wall, maybe in a glass case or something, to display it because you want people to see it. You're proud of it. Well, you have to do that under this new law. You have to have their permission, the permission from the Attorney General to display that firearm. You have to tell them, of course, all the information about the firearm, serial number, make, model, all that kind of crap, where you're going to be displaying it in your home, and when you store it, where you plan on storing it when it's not on display. I'm telling you, people, these idiots, look for it, guys and gals. I mean, I don't care if you are not that much into the shooting sports, or you're not a hunter, or you think it's not a big deal, it don't affect you. You better stop and think. It's getting worse. It does every single year. You have these anti-gun politicians that want to pass law after law after law after law. And they say, we don't want to confiscate your guns. We don't want you to register your guns. We're not saying that the government should know, how many guns, the usual bullshit. But when they introduce legislation, that's the kind of legislation they're introducing. The kind where you have to register your firearms. And if you don't go by certain criteria, your firearms will be confiscated. So, Anyway, guys, if you made it this far through, like I said, if I can remember how, I'm going to put the link to this bill down below so you can go read some of this for yourself. I'm telling you, it will blow your mind. There's a lot more than what I have listed here. It's a dangerous time in this country. We're losing our constitutional rights. It seems like every single day politicians are trying to take them away. Whether it's your First Amendment or your Second Amendment. So, and anybody that tells you, oh, the government's not coming after your guns, give them that. Because you've got more sense to know that that's a lie. Anyway, guys, appreciate you watching, and let's everybody stay on top of this. Stay on top of it.